Okay, so this says determine the exact values of the 6 trig functions of the angle theta. So here we don't need to use our unit circle because we have x and y. So to find sine, what's sine of theta? Sine is y, and y is 4 over 5. Cosine theta is what? Negative 3 over 4, just our x. Tangent theta?
4 over 5 over -3 over 4.
So it's y over x, so 4 over 5 over negative 3 over 4. So keep the top, change to multiplication, flip the bottom. So this would become 4 over negative 3. So multiply 16 over negative 15.
We don't have to make it into mixed numbers or anything.
You can just leave it like this. All right, so next we have to do our reciprocal functions. So cosecant theta would be what? 5 over 4, so we just flip sign. Secant is just the reciprocal of cosine, so that would be negative 4 over 3. And then cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, which would be negative 15 over 16. So for cosecant, if we did 1 over y, y is 4 over 5.
Oh, you just skip the step, you just
Keep, change, flip, yeah. So change to multiplication, this would be 1 times 5 over 4, which would just be 5 over 4. Because all I did was flip the sign, because I know it's the reciprocal of that. So you could either start from the top and find 1 over y, or you can just flip this. Either way would work.
Then find the sine cos.
Okay.
Yep.
So t equals negative 5 over 4. Negative, what?
Negative 3 pi over 4.
Negative 3 pi over 4. So if it's negative, we know we're going to start here and go down. We just need to see how far we go down. So it might help us to either find the coterminal angle or convert it to degrees. That way we can see how many degrees we're going down. So I'm going to convert it to degrees. So if I multiply it by 180 over pi, pi's cancel. 4 goes into 180 45 times. Yeah. And then negative 3 times 45 would be 5, negative 135.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because in the notes we have negative 5.
When it's negative, I like to convert it just so I can see, I can clearly see like how many degrees I need to go, but it's harder to see how many radians you need to go. So it's easier just to work with a negative degree, because I'm still going down this way, but I know that I need to go in the negative direction 135. So if I go to here, that's negative 90, so I need to go 45 degrees more, which would be here in the middle. So another way we can do this would be if I found the positive coterminal angle. So if I had negative 3 pi over 4, how do I find a positive coterminal angle?
You multiply it by 180 over 5.
That's to convert it, but a coterminal angle has the same initial,
Is it
same
2
terminal.
pi or something?
Add 2 pi. So when I'm adding fractions, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom here by 4. So this becomes 8 pi over 4. And then negative 3 pi plus 8 pi would be 5 pi over 4, which is the same that I just found here, 5 pi over 4. Yes.
That's right.
So 2 different ways to find what this number is, because that's our goal, is to find the x and the y, because then we can plug that in. So you can either find the coterminal angle, which was the second way here, or you can find it in degrees, so you could see it a little bit better. Either way works, because you end up with the same spot. So now I need to find my 6 trig functions. So I'm using the point negative square root 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2 for x and y. Bless you. So sine of theta is what?
Negative square root 2 over 2.
It's the y, so negative square root 2 over 2. Cosine of theta is what?
Negative square root 2 over 2.
Same thing, it's the x, so negative square root 2 over 2. Tangent of theta is what?
Negative square root 2 over 2 over negative square root 2.
negative square root 2 over 2 over negative square root 2 over 2. So keep the top, change to multiplication, flip the bottom. So I would get
Is it
1.
Did you get theta from?
Oh, it should be t. That's just like the angle that was given. So it should be t, not theta. But it's the same thing, it's just the unit.
But you could just put like sine with like pi over 4 and
Yeah.
cosine.
Or you could put pi over negative 3 pi over 4 here. It doesn't matter. I think it'll be written out for you on the quiz, so it'll be like sine theta and just fill in the blank. So then next I have to find cosecant. CSC theta would be what?
2 over negative square root 2.
So negative 2 over square root 2. Can I get a square root on the bottom? No, I have to do what? Rationalize. So how do I rationalize? Multiply the top and the bottom by square root 2. So this is negative 2 square root 2 over 2. The 2's will cancel, so it's just negative square root 2. Next, I need to find secant of t. So I flip cosine, it's going to be negative 2 over square root 2. I have to rationalize again, so multiply the top and the bottom by square root 2. So negative 2 square root 2 over 2. 2's cancel, so it's negative square root 2. And then lastly, I have to find cotangent of t. So I can just flip tangent, which is just 1. Okay, doing another question, kind of throwing it back to 4.1. So just to review for the quiz. Let's say it asked us to find the arc length. Given the radius is 6 and theta is 100 degrees. What's my arc length formula? S equals r times theta. But what does theta have to be in? Radians. So first I have to convert 100 degrees to radians. How do I convert to from degrees? Yes. Times pi over 180. So 100 pi over 180. The zeros cancel, and then I can divide both of them by 2. So this would be 5 pi over 9. So theta is actually 5 pi over 9. And then just multiply it times 6. So I'm going to plug them all in. S is equal to 6 times 5 pi over 9. So 6 times 5 would be 30 pi over 9. And then I can simplify this a little bit more. 10 pi over 3. If it said to leave your answer as an exact answer, this would be it. If it said round 2 decimal places, just put it in your calculator. So multiply 10 times pi and then divide by 3.
This is like the clock one.
So let's say the arc length is 10 and theta is 90 degrees. Find the radius. So we're using the same formula. Arc length is equal to r times theta. What does theta have to be in? Radians. So first thing I need to do is convert. So how do I convert 90 degrees to radians? Times pi over 180. So this would be 90 pi over 180, which simplifies to pi over 2. So theta is pi over 2. So I'm going to plug my arc length in, which is 10. That's equal to r times pi over 2. How do I solve for r? Divide by pi over 2. What do I do when I'm dividing with a fraction? Keep change flip. So 10 times pi over 2. This would be 20 over pi. So our radius would be 20 over pi. All right, another question to review would be our complement and supplementary angles.
Isn't there another equation as well the way? No?
Okay, so if you were given, let's say, 7 pi over 6. And we are asked to find the complement and the supplement. How can I find the complement?
Convert it into degrees.
I could convert it to degrees, but
Subtract and add 2 pi.
right.
Not 2 pi, subtract.
So complement adds up to what?
90 pi.
90 degrees, but in radians that is pi over 2.
So subtract pi over 2.
So pi over 2 minus the angle that's given to you, so 7 pi over 6.
And it's pi.
To subtract fractions, what do I need? Common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom here by 3. So this is 3 pi over 6. What's 3 pi minus 7 pi? Can my complement be negative?
No.
No. So what would my answer here be? None or no complement. Cannot have a negative as a complement or supplement.
The other one is also no solution.
Supplement has to add up to what?
Pi.
180, which 180 in radians is pi.
So then
Yeah.
pi. Oh, wait, that's
Pi minus 7 pi over 6. Need a common denominator, so this would be 6 pi over 6. 6 pi minus 7 pi is
Negative pi over 6.
negative pi over 6. Can my supplement be negative? No, so no supplement. Because two complementary angles add up to 90. So you would just take 90 and subtract the other one. But since these are radians, you have to start with 2 pi instead of 90, because 2 pi is just the radian of 90. Another type of question is finding our coterminal angles. So let's say I had 740 degrees. And I need to convert it to radians and find the positive and negative coterminal angles. So let's convert first. How do I convert 740 to radians?
Pi over 180.
Multiply by pi over 180. So this would be 740 pi divided by 180. Zeros cancel. I can divide both of them by 2, so this would be 37 pi over 9. Can't simplify anymore, so 37 pi over 9. Now to find the positive coterminal angle, what should I do?
Add 2 pi.
Am I in radians or degrees here?
no. Oh, yeah.
Degrees.
Oh, I thought
Oh.
you wanted
With the original question.
term. Okay, well you would add
So
360.
just asking you.
I can add 360, so 740 plus 360.
Yeah.
So this would be 1100. So 1100 degrees.
And then you gotta subtract 360 twice for the other one.
So 740 minus 360 to find the negative coterminal angle. And change the color here. So minus 360. That would be 380. So subtract again because this is not a negative angle.
And then do it again.
Then I get 20. So 380 degrees and 20 degrees would also be positive coterminal angles, so those would work as your answers there too. So 380, 20. There's more than one answer for these. More than one right answer. Just make sure your positive coterminal is positive and your negative coterminal is negative.
Wait, because that's what I no wonder, because like if it's in degrees, you don't add or subtract 2 pi, right?
Right, if it's in degrees, you add or subtract 360.
So I'm getting wrong with this now.
Yeah.
But you
If
just-
it's in radians, you have to add or subtract 2 pi. So I need to subtract again, so this would be negative 340. So a negative coterminal angle would be negative 340 degrees. So just make sure if it's asking for a negative one, you give me a negative. Don't just subtract until once. You got to keep doing it until you get a negative. So if this, let's say, was given to us in radians, so if it asks for a positive and negative coterminal angle of pi over 2, positive and negative. How would I find a positive coterminal angle? Add 2 pi. So we need a common denominator. This would be 4 pi over 2. So 5 pi over 2 would be our positive one. How do I find a negative coterminal angle? Subtract 2 pi. So pi over 2 minus 2 pi. This we would need to change to 4 pi over 2. So this would be negative 3 pi over 2.